Well, howdy folks. Here in outdoor sporting, we love to fish, we love to play, we pray constantly. Some folks might take the city lights, the city sounds over getting a little dirty, loving God, but hunting is a way of life, and it's what we love to do. This is outdoor sporting.
Everybody, I hope everybody's doing good today. Come at you with a little issue that we come up with on my wife's Honda CRF150. I'll show you what it's doing. If you ever have the same issue, then you'll know how to fix it. This is going to be my first how-to video, I believe, that I'm going to put up. I've been trying to put some up for a long time now. Files get deleted, files get misplaced, phone crashes, this and that, but I'm going to try to make this one go. So this is the issue that we have. When I turn the gas on from the petcock, we get a lot of spillage out of the overflow. To me, that tells me that we have got the float needle sticking. So what we're going to do is pull that carb off and do a thorough cleaning on it, inspect all the ports, make sure everything's clear, and make sure there's nothing damaged inside. So the tools you're going to need are two 12mm. We use combination wrenches. You will need a screwdriver to get your air boot off your carburetor, as well as a 10mm combination wrench to get your venturi side of the intake off. To take the plastics off, we'll be using a 10mm socket on a impact wrench. So for the next step, you want to take this hose clamp here off, Phillips head screwdriver, and I like to take the flange off from the intake so I can inspect the O-ring and make sure it's all G-hawing just right. This is the OEM key and carburetor. We want to replace it, we just can't really find an OEM one right now. So for the time being, we're just going to clean it up, spick and span, clean as a whistle.
Ready, go!
OEM spec, but we've got a hose clamp on the petcock. I like to remove it from there because the hoses to the carburetor are intertwined and mangled up. I don't want to get all scientific with y'all, but they go a specific way so there's no pinch. So we'll loosen that hose clamp up and pull it off the petcock with the petcock in the off position. You don't want to do that with the petcock in the on position. You're going to have a fuel mess. And we'll get you loose. And from here you just pull the carburetor off the intake boot, straight off the studs, all the way. Remove the air intake. And you might have a little bit of fuel spill. And untwist your slide cap there. Make sure you know which way it comes out. So as it comes out, you want to look at it, and you'll notice we've got a tapered side on the right side, tapered side on the right side, and your slot on the left. Pull that out. Go ahead and pull it out.
What?
The carb. And I've always found it easier to take these carbs off the right side of the bike. Oop. No, go ahead and just pull it straight up. You'll pull your drain tube out and place it over. This is probably the most important part. A little bit of gas leak never hurt nobody. You want to put it on a good, clean, unused surface. Alright, once you get your carb off the bike, like I said, you're going to have a little bit of spillage there, but that's alright. You pull your bow off. I wouldn't take it completely off just yet. We grab that crescent up there, that Stanley crescent. And if you'll notice, Harbor Freight has more or less sponsored this shop. Take that little adjustment screw there out, because we're going to clean it up nice. Go ahead and pull this drain plug off. Always inspect the O-ring. We got a little bit of garbage in there, so we'll probably clean that up, reapply that O-ring. There ain't much pressure down in that bowl, so those O-rings don't typically go bad unless you pinch them or something. This particular carburetor has 3 bolts holding on the bowl there, and it just pops off just like that. Look at your O-ring there. We've had this one off a few times. Instead of waiting for an O-ring, we just kind of RVT'd it up, and it holds pretty good. So that wasn't ever the issue to begin with. Set that to the side. I'm going to pull this jet handle out. So on this particular bike, all we've done is the airbox mod and a more free-flowing exhaust. Oop. Let's see what size jet we have here. Looks like we are running a 113 in the main with a pilot. Go ahead and pull this jet here out. Oh, that ain't good. Yeah, we cleaning it up anyway. And with those mods, we're running a 40 pilot in this one. From there, the issue that I think that we have is down here in your float. I believe that needle is sticking. So we'll take and we'll pull your float pin out. go with a pair of needle nose pliers. Probably, maybe. Just you can get a little hold of it right there. You pull that there out, and there's your needle. You're gonna clean it up real good. Clean that port there out real good. Probably clean up some of this excess RVT off of here. Make sure we don't have no clogs or clogged ports or anything like that. But I'm thinking that there is probably what was causing that bow to overflow and overfill the bowl there. You can grab one of those little toothbrushes. So while we're right here, just gonna clean everything up real good. That carb cleaner there will let you know if you have any little cut. I feel one right in my cuticle right now. I don't know if you can see it or not. You have a bunch of little holes right here. 6 little holes on that side and 6 little holes on that side. You want to make sure that those are good. You can see through them. You can get good air passage through there. It won't taste very good either. Clean out your jet. Make sure there ain't no goopity gap in there. Your other jet. And it will spray you right in the titties. There it goes. You also have a few, I think it's 6 or 8 little holes right there on that jet. You want to make sure you get good and cleaned out. Also that O-ring, you can see there's a little bit of trash in there. Just give her a good old-fashioned summer's eve douching. We'll get you a good seal on that. That's probably not real great for the O-rings, but you know what? We're gonna make it work. Clean out every little port you can find inside this carburetor here. Got several little vacuum ports in there. Make sure they're good and clean. That one right there, spray you right back in the face. You got 2 there, 3 there. Should probably wear safety glasses doing this. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, that pouring out there, that's a good sign. Got all these little rigmaroles here. Make sure they ain't got no kind of obstructions in there. Yeah, that one's good. And again, we're going to clean out this RVT pretty good here. I want to use a brass brush. Shouldn't hurt an aluminum housing. Clean that off real good. Get all that RVT off there. Yours probably won't have RVT on it, but that's how we do it, no problem. Alright, that's about as far as I'm going to go with cleaning this thing. Before I reassemble, put me on a couple gloves, make sure I don't get no oil or anything on those jets. And as I put it back together, I don't want to contaminate anything after I done gave it good old-fashioned medical grade cleaning. So I put on this here proctology gloves. Go ahead and get that jet there started in there. I'll give it a good tighten once I get it in hot. Probably should have put my floats in first. We're gonna be all right though. I believe these carbs originally came with a, that's pretty good. They came with a little housing that sat in there, and they have to go a specific way. And if you don't get them in there just perfect, you won't ever get your bowl set back on it. We just did away with that. That's like a stage 6 carb mod there. We're going to slap this old needle on there, get her set back in her home. Yeah, should have paid a little more attention how that one came out. There we go. Well, that was right. There we go. Go ahead and put your keeper pin in there. It just slides in like so. And throw your other jet in there. Give it a good old snugging. Yep. Careful not to punch a hole in your floats. You get fluid in there, it won't be good. Alright, not a bad idea. We did it a while ago. We give your bowl one last squirting. These carburetors are so tiny. Any little piece of debris in there will clog the port. Gotcha. There we go. Go ahead and open that drain plug. For those of you who don't know, these little red straws here, that's shotgun mode, that's sniper mode. Whenever you really got to blast them out from a distance, you just put it on sniper mode. Multi-versatile. And do that until you see it blow out there. See it coming out of that drain tube there. Looks like we got good passage. There. It looks pretty good. Pretty clean. I'll flip it right on over there. Slap that bad boy on. Go ahead and just start your 3 bowl screws. Don't tighten any of them down, just get them finger tied. If I didn't have sausage fingers, I'd just run them down with my finger. I'm going to use a screwdriver just to get them started. Long screwdriver. They are Phillips head. Flathead won't work. On that last one, you can run it down until you feel it touch the flange. Do that with the other 3. Give it a good old snug. I'm sure there's a torque spec for it. I use German torque specs. That's good and tight. That good and tight. Check it one more time. Yeah, that's good. We got our cleaned up bowl fill plug or bowl drain plug here. This stuff will cross thread. Make sure you're in good threads. There we go. That on there. Oh, that's about 1 caveman. Ugh. Then the last thing we need to do is put that pin needle back in there. We will now reassemble the carb onto the motorcycle. and see if that stopped that sticky needle. There we go. I'm not going to too much mess with this here slide. I've already got the clip set. I believe I'm set on 2 from the top, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit, just for the simple fact of everything else is squeaky clean. Get that set on there. Go ahead and reapply this here carburetor. If you remember, like we said before, you got a tapered side on the right side of the bike. You got your cable insert on the left side of the bike. So we're going to slide that in there. It will go 2 ways, but you're going to have a hard time getting that cap on there if you put it on the wrong way. Not only that, you're going to over rev as soon as you kick that thing over, if you don't flood it first. Get that old bugger started on there. And that just got to be good and hand tight. Yeah, right there, got it on. I will go ahead and get that over there ready for the petcock. Put your carb on the intake flange, put your air boot. Yeah, I might have done that a little backwards. Let's go ahead and put the air boot on that there. Then we'll flap that right there. From there, it's just reassembly, guys. I'm gonna go to a time lapse and we'll see how she performs right as soon as we get done here. Alright guys, so I hooked everything back up, turned the petcock on, and lo and behold, she is leaking like a sieve. This should have been a lesson learned from 1,000 times before, but you must always turn off your drain plug, for crying out loud. I've probably done that a dozen times. Once that gets good and set in there, let's see what she does now. Alright, well the bow ought to be filling up. Let me get a different size flash head. Make sure she's good and tight. You go against them German specs. No, good and tight, there we go. As you can see, other than what had already spilled out, there are no more leaks. We ought to be ready to go again. Probably not the safest idea, but I'm gonna go ahead and give her a couple kick tries. And as far as reassembling the body, you just do everything in reverse. Prime kicks here. Well, she has got some compression. Oh, torque to spec. Of course, you know how I torque to spec by now. I just want you to see something. This is the condition I like to see the air filter in. The air box is a little bit dirty. Man, look at that. She keeps this thing pretty good. She always lets me know if there's something making a weird noise or something not quite right with it. Like I said, this is just kind of a quick little put together bike, but it's been a really good one. These CRF 150Fs, 230Fs, especially for women and maybe smaller children that don't really quite need a motocross bike. Man, they're good bikes. They're tractors, really easy to ride. They're plush, they're fun to ride. And depending on what you're looking for, the power is actually there. She does really good on hill climbs. We've made a few runs to some motorcycle parks and this and that, some trail rides, and she does really good on this little bike. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed it. You have any questions or things that maybe I could have done different other than the torque spec stuff, I don't want to hear about it. Leave it in the comments. Like or don't like. Subscribe if you want to.